Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the FSL Thailand qualifiers. Today we'll be looking at the lower bracket as well as the finals to find out who is going to represent Thailand in the upcoming FSL Elite Tournament. Once again, I am your play-by-play caster, Hungry Cast, and alongside me is Spoots, who will be your color caster for today.
Hello.
Alright, okay, we should be jumping the game relatively soon. It is going to be the first game for today, Opononi on the blue side, and on the red side will be Homeless Legends. And as you can see, we are midway through the picks and bans. Colette, Sejuani, Ari locked in. Ugh, that Ari, man.
This Ari's an absolute monster. I wanna. I mean, yesterday she was just running over the enemy team, so today I don't expect there to be much difference from her performance. So this is something they have to be very worried about.
Yeah, I'm surprised they even got through the ban phase. And on the opposite side, we see the Poppy, Silver, Yuumi locked in. One thing to note is that Opononi on blue did pinch out the top lane pool quite a lot, whereas you see a variety of bans coming in from Homeless Legends. There's some Jace, Jarvan, Corki, and Kai'Sa, so Marksman, Jungle, and top all pinched out. Second ban phase on the way now. I'm curious to see where they go with this because they haven't shown their bot lane all too much, but the opponent knows, or at least they know what their opponents are playing in the bot lane, so perhaps might be looking to free up that pool just a little bit more. Sylas is going to be the next ban. This is possibly a jungle Sylas ban coming in.
Yeah, you did point out that Opononi was what's the word? Attacking, you know, at the top lane, but they forget to ban out the Poppy, which has been a very strong champion in recent patches, and we've seen her yesterday used to great effect.
Yeah, I think that Poppy was a direct counter pick in our last game for the day. I think they played it against the Aurelia, got a solo kill multiple times and started steamrolling the game. With that said, the last ban for Homeless Legends is gonna be that Lucian. So in terms of AD carries, there are only very few left, of course. Some popular picks are available still. Zyra Khan, the Tristana is also another option if you want to. And at this point, there are some things that they can go for. As the last ban comes in, it's going to be the Vladimir. So if you consider 5 top lane bans, I'll call it 4 in a jungle ban coming through from Opononi. So the second pick phase will be underway. Now I think you might want to be looking towards a jungle pick here, or looking to secure at least a decent jungle matchup against the Sejuani.
Yep, for sure. I mean, if you want to counterpick the mid lane, that's also something you can do. We see the Rek'Sai Hubbard probably going to be locked in here. Yep.
Yeah. I think in particular on the red side, you can save the last pick for, you know, getting mid or top a good matchup. In this case, against the Ari, you might want to see and, you know, kind of wait it out and figure out if you can get a good bot lane or rather mid lane matchup. As we see the bot lane picks come in Zyra and Nautilus, so no Zyra Khan. Instead, they want the more reliable hard CC in the bot lane.
Yeah, this shows that Desire definitely wants to go in slightly more than perhaps they could with a Rakan pick. Nautilus, of course, being a more aggressive laner. This is going to be a bit of a kill lane, I think, once they hit level 6.
I kind of like the Nautilus as well in conjunction with the Sejuani, because if you look at Rakan, like, sure, he does have sort of a reliable engage, but together with the Sejuani, when she comes down the bot lane, it actually becomes more devastating because now you can apply the permafrost, right? Because you are melee champion. Like I was saying, there's this interesting interaction where if you're coming for the gank, Nautilus can auto-attack reset with the W, so you can get a permafrost off very quickly. As we see, the last pick coming in for Homeless Legends is gonna be the Syndra with no cleanse once again. I was talking about this quite a lot yesterday. I feel very strongly about mid laners who don't take cleanse against Ari.
I mean, once again, the confidence is showing, I guess. We just have to see whether or not it's gonna be overconfidence once we get in game. But to draw back a bit of attention to Xayah Nautilus, I think it's going to be a very good lane to go into the Silver Yuumi. We have seen that Xayah has been pretty good against this bot lane duo of the Silver Yuumi, and I think if you couple that with the Nautilus and, like you said, the Sejuani, the amount of CC that there's going to be is just going to be too much for Silver to spell shield away.
Yeah, I think that's a great point you bring up, because Silver players are normally like, well, I still have the spell shield just in case anything goes wrong. Most Nautilus players, if you are, you know, knowledgeable about the fact that the spell shield is up, you can literally just flash up to her, CC her with the auto attack, then dredge line after, right? So a lot of tools that you do have to kind of lock the AD carry down. And one thing I always point out about Yuumi lanes is the fact that you only have one body in bot lane.
Yep.
Yeah, although Yuumi can detach from you, but for the most part, you're always going to be, you know, laning as a single unit, right? And that becomes a bit more convenient for your opponents to focus down, because then, you know, all you have to do is just lock down that single target. If Yuumi decides to, say, disconnect from you, if you will, you can just focus down the Yuumi even quicker as well.
Effectively, if you catch one of them, you get 600 gold.
That is a bonus on top of a kill. So of course, we have to see how this bot lane plays out. The general trend is that Silver Yuumi are very comfortable just shoving the wave out and playing a bit more safe. The onus is then on the Zyra Nautilus to, I think, play more aggressively in that sense, capitalize on the weak bot lane.
Alright, if you want to take a look at the team compositions, I think both teams actually are okay going into team fights. If you look at Opononi's composition, I think they have a bit more of a secondary objective where they can sort of make these sorts of picks where you can find an advantage that way. You have the Nautilus for those long range hooks. You have the Ari, you got Sejuani. Very good team to punish any sort of misadventures into the enemy jungle.
And we were talking about this yesterday about Opononi's sort of style of drafting. They do have this primary win condition in the form of team fighting. They love to team fight. They like using hard engaged top laners and counter engaged jungles, right? So we saw, I think Jarvan was the counter engage or the hard engage, and there was Nara in the top lane. So they like drafting these sort of tools. And then they have this sort of secondary win objective or win condition in the form of making picks, either through the Ari or through the support. So yesterday I think they played Varus ADC together with the Ari, and that was what allowed them to make picks as well. So this time we'll see if they play to their primary or secondary win conditions. Either way, super flexible, multiple tools available if they want to achieve victory in this game. And to remind our viewers, this is the do or die game, right? This is your last chance. In the lower bracket, if you lose, you are effectively eliminated from the qualifiers. So if you win, of course, you proceed, congratulations. But if you lose, it's time to pack up and go home, ladies. So all things on the line right now as they look to progress forward in the FSL Thailand qualifiers. And the playing field has looked super competitive in Thailand so far. I think yesterday we saw Lannisters with extremely dominant performances in multiple games. Opononi as well, one of the teams that I think were quite confident as they came to multiple matches.
Here's the thing though, we can't just assume that they're going to come into today showing the amount of consistency that they did yesterday.
Of course.
That maybe some tilt involved, or maybe some external factors that could affect your play. Maybe some teams are going to perform better, maybe some teams are going to perform worse. Hopefully Lannisters, like you say, will keep up the performance, and hopefully one of these teams step up and make their way out of this bottom bracket.
I mean, Lannister is already sitting comfortable inside the final, so they're pretty much just, at the LAN shop or wherever they are, watching the VODs, watching the games go on and scouting their opponents, knowing what to ban, right? And along the same lines of, consistency, I like that you brought up that point, because in a short form tournament, say a LAN tournament of 2-3 days, your performance back-to-back on each day might sway quite a bit as compared to a league or seasonal style where you're only playing a match a week. You have a whole week to prep, and scout your opponents. So of course this time it's going to be based on who can adapt more on the fly and who can change up their bans and basically alter their compositions to fit and defeat their enemies, as it were.
Yep, 100%.
How do you feel about this bot lane fleet footwork Sivir? Because traditionally I see Sivir players go for lethal tempo, right?
Yep.
Does this indicate that they're okay just losing the lane and sitting under turret and sustaining, or do you think that this is just an adaptation in terms of comfort,
I think it's a little bit of both. I think if you bring the healing, you have the ability to stay in lane longer against the poke that Xayah Nautilus can bring.
Yes.
And I think it's a bit of comfort as well, because fleet footwork, has been pretty popular in the previous patches. I think now that even if you change out, if you use a different keystone, it could be a bit like, you're not used to it.
Of course, by the way, you guys can't see this on the screen, but we are looking at the loading screen, so we're sort of talking about the keystones as we go along. They're swapping over right now. And Nacha Adventure on the Ari once again playing with that Glacial Augment keystone, which I was criticizing a bit yesterday. I was saying, well, that's a keystone that basically reduces your damage output by about 20-30%.
But then he got like 11 kills.
Yeah, she just straight up went in and like solo killed the enemy Azir, so I end up retracting my statement. And I think this mid laner super confident on that Glacial Augment. Like you mentioned, sometimes it's just a comfort thing, right? Overall, though, I don't think I see anything too different or unexpected in terms of keystones coming in. It's just the fleet footwork as well as the Glacial Augment. Interesting point to note is that with fleet footwork, when you do go for your zeal items, as you do on Sivir, you do get an empowered sort of proc on the energized active effect, right? So, or the passive effect rather. So when you do get something like a static shift or a rapid fire cannon, the amplified damage coming through from the procs is actually much higher with fleet footwork, because they did change that a while back.
Alright, fair enough. Loading under the rift now.
Yeah. Like we were saying yesterday, when it came down to the 9.14, 9.15 patches, loading into game tends to take a bit longer, as well as the more recent freeze frames that we've been subjected to.
That's been an issue since 9.10, my friend.
Yeah, it's there for the suspense, there for the pause, but nevertheless we will be getting into game. On the red side, it will be Homeless Legends, and on the blue side it will be Opononi. Opononi definitely coming hot after a bunch of very dominant games yesterday, whereas Homeless Legends dropping very early in the brackets, so have to see how their journey continues from there. Of course, one team will be going home, one team will be advancing,
30 seconds until
as the teams all fan out defensively here. See very aggressive posturing coming in from the Syndra in the river. Not really expected though, you can see she's sitting in the Pixel Brush all alone.
On topic of Syndra though, I want to discuss this mid lane a little bit more. I think we can both agree that for Opononi, Nacha Adventure on this Ahri has been the MVP of that game.
Oh, for sure.
11 something kills, I think. Homeless Legends does allow the Ahri to go through. Wondering if it's a bit of complacency on their end, or maybe they just weren't expecting it. Or perhaps Sheros here with the Syndra is going to be very confident going up against it.
Yeah, because she did save, I mean, her team in general did save the last pick for the Syndra, so maybe they feel like this is a counter pick. In my books, I think it's an equal matchup because both of them are sort of skill shot champions. It depends on the execution. It's not too bad. Although Ahri will have a bit of a problem early on clearing the waves because Syndra, with her Q, is actually very flexible at positioning around the wave and casting the spell without delay.
Just gonna have to see whether that lane results in, the huge lead that Nacha Adventure was able to get yesterday.
Both junglers starting on the opposite sides of the map, so it's going to be a rip buff start for the Rek'Sai and a rip buff start for the Sejuani as well. Of course, Rek'Sai, you do like to play around the Raptor second clear because of your AoE Q that does give you an expedited clear rate.
Yep, one thing you definitely have to be aware of the Rek'Sai as well, able to come in with some creative gang paths, able to go under walls and jump up where you least expect it.
Oh, there you go, the freeze frame that we were talking
This is
about
a
earlier.
Huge freeze frame.
Oh, okay, we should be jumping in soon. Unfortunately, this tends to be the case with the newer patches, and that is a stop motion picture if I've ever seen one. And like you said, no, all eyes on the Rek'Sai because the pathing coming in pre-6 Ahri doesn't have the flexible escape tools. So we have to be careful about how she positions around. Hopefully we'll be able to reset this relatively soon. As you can see, there's nothing really onto it in terms of the OB client. It's a bit more of a server-side problem, so should be looking to fix that relatively soon.
This is the worst one I've seen in ages.
It's like a 20-30 second pause, right? We have to figure out what's going on. Hopefully, we should be able to continue in the game. Ideally, we will not be having to disconnect and reconnect because if I remember correctly from my days as an OB, if you disconnect on a PC, it's going to be really difficult for you to reconnect back in. So if you are out of the game, you are effectively unable to spectate anymore. So fingers crossed right now. You can't see us off screen, but we are crossing our fingers hoping that everything goes back fine.
Alright, well, we can carry talking on about the game. I think since we're on topic of the jungle matchup, I think we should talk a little bit about the Sejuani as well.
Right.
I think we've said yesterday that if you're on the Sejuani, you want to go in for the counter ganks. If you can find those sorts of opportunities, I think if you're able to go against the Rek'Sai in those counter ganks, I think you can sort of come out on top.
That's the thing about Sejuani though, she doesn't want to necessarily be the aggressor in these sort of matchups. You kind of want to path properly and say, okay, most likely the enemy jungle is going to hit this lane, I'm there to re-gank and counter-gank with the Arctic Assault, because for her to start fights out is very tricky. Oh, hold on, okay. We did get a disconnect on our side, so we will be looking to reconnect now. And like we said, it was a server-side problem that came through. Most likely on the sort of a client server-side on Garina's Thailand's end. A lot of damage coming through to the top side. Colette taking the better end of that trade as we see a pause coming in. Very low health already on that Poppy. Having to back off and chuck the potions to heal up the Crofton path, because very good at keeping top laners topped up.
Yeah, Poppy we saw very strong yesterday against the Aurelia. Not gonna have the same effect against the Clan. Not many dashes for the Poppy to block there, except for I think maybe the E.
Of course, when it comes to mitigating all that movement coming in, the Poppy doesn't have much of an advantage. But I like to point out that most Kled players are okay taking these sort of trades because, like we said, the Scarl health that you get back from pushing your bar back to full is actually sort of effective health, right? You can't heal it up, but it does reset with every sort of trade that you do take well. In this case, Computer is super happy just duking it out against the Poppy in the top side and really accruing a decent CS advantage, pressuring her under the turret. You can see just charging away now. Although Grasp of the Undying was proc there. Overall, still up by 10 CS. Not a lot, but an indicator of things to come.
Here's the thing, right, with Kled. After recent changes, along with the Scarl, I think the recent changes being his previous wounds now reducing 60% of damage.
If you land the bear trap on a rope and it pulls them back in, I think there is a grievous wounds portion, so yeah, there's a good healing reduction on that.
Very strong pick now. I think a lot of people will agree that Kled is one of the stronger picks in the top lane, but It all comes down to comfort, because if you're not that good on that, you're not that well practiced on the champion, I don't think you will be able to play to much success. So we're gonna have to look at how Comfy Roof decides to approach this.
Yeah.
As we see another freeze frame coming in. It real
Alright.
feels bad, but
Fingers crossed once more that it should jump through no problem, and we see the Sejuani picking up her blue buff and then moving over to the top side. Back to your point about Kled, there's actually a local player in Singapore. I think he goes by Blair now, it should still be Blair. That is actually a famous Kled player in our server, so... Alright, freeze frame finishing. Yeah, he does play a lot of Kled, so if you do see him in local tournaments, it most likely is banned out against him as we see a gang coming into the top side. Steadfast Presence is going to deny the dash, as the flash has to be used for Biz Jr. to get out of there. So they burn the Summer Spell overall, and it's a window for a regang coming through as well.
yep, forces the flash while the lane is actually pushing against him. So Johnny, you can see he's waiting in the tri-bush for another opportunity to go in.
Yeah, this wave is held in a very precarious position though, like you said, so it's going to be pushing in. I don't think the Poppy player is going to be all too worried about this as we see another freeze frame coming in.
It just feels bad at this point. Man.
9.15 problems, guys. Should be looking to resolve that soon as we sort of turn back to the caster's camera. It's early in the day. Maybe the machines on the server's end haven't warmed up yet. Kind of, in hindsight, maybe not the best idea to pour coffee into the machines to wake them up.
Wait, what? Alright.
Nah, I'm just messing around, man. Overall, though...
Wait, what's going on mid lane?
Right, there you go. We have jumped back in, so we saw a flash as well as ignite coming through from Nacha Adventure to try and secure the kill, but meanwhile baiting this one out. Here comes Amy in the mid lane, the Rek'Sai already flanking in. I think this Rek'Sai player is just comfortable just looking for the recall for her teammate. As Syndra backs off. These two summer spells burnt for one, so this forces the Syndra to back off and teleport back into lane. Meanwhile, on the top side, being shoved away from the wave. Here comes Scarl once more onto the Kled. One tower plate is going to go down, and I don't think they will take a second, so they will be happy backing off.
Yep, both solo lanes for Homeless Legends being pushed out of lane, forced to use the TP on both ends, so it's a little unfortunate for them. And, you know, Opononi just going to pick up a bit of advantages here and there.
Reganking the top side once more. I like the presence of mind from Lemon Sugar. We said that the Sejuani player doesn't necessarily want to be the aggressor, but sometimes when your enemies overextend, it's best to just punish them instead of letting them get away scot-free. Oh, gonna find a Poppy roaming in here as the Bedrock on rope is gonna activate and pull Biz Jr. back. Meanwhile, Scarl getting dismounted, Comfy Roof using the shotgun to blast herself away and now look for the recall once more. Even without a buy, the trade's still going pretty well in favor of the Kled player, so Comfy Roof now sitting in top side, like her namesake, pretty comfortable.
Yeah, well, that's early game brawler against tank for you, I guess.
Teleport coming into the top side, and guess what? She's picked up the Tiamat, so she's going to be shoving the Poppy in quite a bit in the top half of the map.
Yeah, I think Poppy's pretty okay being shoved in at this moment. We see a fight in mid lane though.
Spirit Rush coming in, not landing the charm though, but a decent amount of damage still. Here comes the Unleashed Power, a good deal of damage onto the Ahri. Has to be careful about the spacing. Meanwhile, no flash for the Syndra means that she cannot confirm this kill. Coming in from the side is the Rek'Sai though. Amy is just sitting and waiting in the wings. Remember, we talked about this creative pathing and coming off the flank. Lemon Sugar just sitting there. This could be a bait as the Q does reveal her. A good deal of damage down onto the Rek'Sai as the charm hits, but now it's going to be the first blood going over the way of the Rek'Sai. Remember that the charm, although knocks you out of the pathing, this is still a pretty healthy Rek'Sai that will get the kill.
Yep, Lemon Sugar was actually looking for a counter gank there, pretty obviously. What the heck just happened here?
It's Bruisers getting bullied out on the top half, and the Brawler wins that trade. So they trade on both fronts here. It's going to be a top solo kill for the Rek'Sai, excuse me, not Rek'Sai, Kled, whereas the Rek'Sai will get the kill in the mid lane.
Yeah, a bit of a delayed one for one. Back to my point previously about Johnny. I think the idea of the counter gank was there, but she did not take into account the fact that the Rek'Sai was that healthy, and in the end was forced to pay for it with her life.
You could see that even though the, I want to say Prey Seeker, the Q coming in from Rek'Sai spotted out two members, she was not afraid. She knew that she could take that fight because early game Rek'Sai still duels pretty well against the Sejuani, and especially when you are more healthy. So a bit of a misjudgment coming in from Lemon Sugar there.
Why aren't you ready? Why aren't you ready?
Yeah, why aren't you ready indeed? Nacha Adventure now with the early buy on the Lost Chapter. It's going to be matched by the Syndra, and like we were saying, the wave clear on both ends is pretty good.
Draw your attention to the bot side though. Even though Sejuani is gonna get spotted out by the ward, I think this idea is also pretty good. Like you did point out that Sejuani can go for the gank at the bot lane, that's what she's trying to do right now. Unfortunately,
That ward is gonna see her, and
Yep.
she's gonna be backing off here. So Silver Yumi pretty comfortable just sitting here farming. In terms of CS, there's not much of a deficit. It's like 100 gold, which is sort of
doesn't matter at this point.
it's meager. It's not inconsequential now. Rek'Sai coming in to the bot lane will just hold off on the wing, sitting on the Scuttle Crab Shrine. Remember that this is an Inferno Drake that has spawned, the first dragon of the game, so both teams will be looking to pay some attention to that objective at least. Amy creeping into the bot lane though. They're looking for the counter gank on the all-in because the Nautilus has hit level 6 and so has the Silver Yumi, so the opportunity to outplay this and turn it around might just come through. But still, extremely hesitant is the Nautilus. Just as I say that, he hooks in, tries to go for the Yumi and baits it out. Meanwhile, still looking for the play. Here comes the Rek'Sai already borrowing in on a hunt has been used. Who are they going to focus down first? It's going to be the final chapter on top of the Nautilus, but not connecting with the root though. Does mean that they will have to back off, but a great hook back in will catch the Rek'Sai. I don't think Yumi wants to be there. Yumi back onto the Silver, but gets knocked up. What a great play coming in, and they will find all the kills that they want on the bot lane as Silver as well as Yumi will get taken down. But meanwhile, the Ahri getting the kill means that Nacha Adventure will find a solo and multiple kills on multiple fronts come through.
And that's what you can do when you're playing the Xayah Nautilus bot lane, right? You can definitely turn if your Xayah kites the fight out well originally.
Using the Blade Collar there is so impactful because if they overextend, you root and then you turn the fight around. And I didn't know that interaction was actually something that could happen, but as Yumi's dashing, she can get knocked out of the animation and the skill goes on cooldown. My goodness. A massive play coming in the bot lane. 5-1 now is the kill score and 2.5k is the lead for Opononi.
Yeah, we do see about a 1k gold lead in for Opononi's bot lane, but there's a 1k gold lead in the top lane as well. So they're feeling pretty good across the board right now. Comfy, you don't want to let this Kled get a hit because if he does get a hit, he can make some devastating flanks later on in the game.
Yeah, not just that, but we saw the impact of the on-demand CC from Nautilus earlier. Coupled together with the Rek'Sai, the Kled charge, it's going to be very dangerous as the Bear Trap with Rope comes through and Comfy Roof finding the solo kill once more will get dismounted. And the aggro will be reset. Meanwhile, here comes the Rek'Sai using the Void Rush over and oh man, what an untimely DC. That's a fuse bad, ladies and gentlemen.
Right, I think Rek'Sai gets this kill.
I don't know. I feel like
he's level 6.
Yeah, I feel like you could play this because it's a level 6 Rek'Sai against a level 9 Kled, and the Kled can remount. So it's gonna be tricky as we jump back in. Hit your bets. Who do you think it's on right now? I mean, my gut tells me that the Rek'Sai takes it, but my heart wants the Kled to get the kill.
I'm gonna say Rek'Sai because I think Kled wasn't that close to getting a remount.
Right. I think it was like 20%, right?
Yep.
So hopefully we do see the Kled get the... not the Kled, rather, the Rek'Sai get the kill. Because they do need some sort of comfort or respite here as... nope, it's gonna be the kill going over to the Kled. I mean, now it's 7-1, right?
Nah, man. Wait, hang on.
Okay, hopefully... no. Maybe we might get a replay, hopefully. We can jump back in time. I don't think we're gonna see it. Right, yeah, we missed it completely. Okay, so... I
think Kled actually just got away.
Yeah, just got away, right?
Yeah, he got two
solo
on the
kills.
Poppy.
Yeah. The math works out, 2 solo kills on top of the Poppy, and the Kled managing to get out is still a win.
That's a bit of a feels bad if you're this Poppy. I mean, yesterday we saw Poppy, absolutely pop off, but today we're actually seeing Poppy getting dumpstered by this Kled. Kled literally just walking under the turret and taking her out.
Moving in onto the Rek'Sai, there's no way she's getting out of this one. Comfy getting the kill there, not even using the teleport, just roaming down after escaping in the top half. And it needs to be pointed out, right, that this was a first pick Kled. They banned out a lot of the top lane champions, insta-lock Kled on the blue side, and you can see the comfort coming in for Comfy Roof in the top lane. Oh, here comes the charge onto the bot laners, and combined with the CC, there's no way they're getting out of this one. Desire gets both the kills as they reset the aggro, and now they will be looking to take down the turret, but I'm not sure if it's going to be falling anytime soon because the minion wave is going to be dwindled down by the turret aggro.
It's a very happy Xayah, able to pick up 2 kills, just gonna push her even further towards completing those items. That's going to give her that damage bump that's just gonna be huge later on in the mid game.
The idea here is that she's going to be moving towards the Essence Reaver, but the Silver you can see is building towards the Infinity, right? So when it comes to first item impact, I think the Essence Reaver has a bit more value, just slightly. But in terms of scaling, of course, it's going to be the Silver that does scale up first as we push the camera back to us.
Hello.
Unfortunate that the server is giving us a bit of a kickback and some issues here today.
Just a bit of a Pepe Gas server moment, I guess.
You can see, I don't read Thai, but on the screen it does say like, please reconnect or something.
Probably.
Yeah. Hopefully, we'll be able to jump back in the game relatively soon. Obi's like, do I click that? Do I not? I feel like I'm super afraid. Like that says something like
this means attempting to reconnect.
Is it?
So if you click that button,
Does it say cancel? Like
no,
don't
it
reconnect?
it means it closes the client. You have to reopen it.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It won't reconnect on its own. So I think you actually do have to click it.
Okay. Oh, there you go. Super OB true fun.
Woo.
Should be
what were we talking about in the game earlier?
about the fact that they had a massive party in the bot lane with the
They
Kled.
did,
Yeah.
And yeah, that's the sort of those are the sorts of fights that you can take when the Kled does get a hit. You know, those devastating flanks with the charge, able to just pick up so many kills.
We were calling this out earlier, the fact that you have charge as well as the depth charge, so it's like charge on charge, right? And it's so dangerous because Sivir only has one spell shield. The moment that's exhausted or used up, there's no way for her to peel back because she has no escape as well. So problems upon problems. I do see a disconnect coming through, but a reconnect coming in. So it's not just us, ladies and gentlemen. It is some of the players that are experiencing the issues on the server side as well. Focusing down on the mid lane, the Syndra is going to get the bare brunt of the aggression. You can see overall, CS for CS, all the lanes are ahead. As Scared of Meek is going to fall onto the Nautilus, but the charm hitting onto the Syndra means that she might just be able to get the kill. Void Rush being used on top of the RE will get the counter kill over, but Amy is now in enemy territory. She's extended past her own line, so she will be falling soon as the kill will go the way of the Nautilus. A double kill in favor of the support. So 3-0-5, maybe you do build AP Nautilus this game.
And well, it's good movement sending the Nautilus towards the mid lane to see if they're able to pick up any more opportunities in that lane, since the bot lane tower is actually gone. So just leaving the Xayah to clear out the wave against the Sivir and sending Nautilus elsewhere on the map. I think that's pretty good.
One thing you have to remember is because there are two people on the team with Aftershock here in the resolve tree, right? So Demolish is a thing now. The fact that your opponents have to play around this threat of Demolish, as we will see neither of these Aftershock players take that keystone or rather that rune. But that's the danger. If you can send 3 members and clear the wave, you proc an Aftershock, it's proc the Demolish rather. It's so simple for you to just clean the wave out and take the structure soon after.
Yep, Sivir here forcing out the teleport from the Kled though. It's gonna be one teleport loss for a potential fight later on.
Meanwhile, Repair will be taken by 3 members of Opononi. First game of the day looking pretty spectacular for the ladies on the blue side.
Yep, definitely. I think if you're a 7k gold ahead like they are now, you're in a pretty happy spot as they try to siege down the top lane tower.
Poppy is going to be in a world of hurt if she overstays. Remember the ward near the Crux did spot out this top laner, and they will be going for the kill depth charge immediately onto the Poppy and the Arctic Assault, as well as the Dredge line on top of that. They will find the structure, they will find the kill, and the credit is going to go the way of the Xayah. Exceptional play coming through from the ladies of Opononi. Another solo kill once more. Yumi now has to reattach on the Sivir. I don't think Nacha Adventure is done just yet. She finds the second, she might just look for the third. On top of the charm hit! She might just get a kill! Orb of Deception sailing past means that they won't get the kill, but the Syndra meanwhile falling on the top half. It's a slaughter right now for Opononi. This is like the warm-up game against the bots in game 1 of the lower bracket for today.
Wait, you have to ban out this Ahri, man. There is no way you're gonna circumvent this. You just have to ban it.
How did that charm even hit on the Yumi surprised me? The fact that she can thread the skill shots through. Keeper's Verdict is gonna knock the Rift Herald away. But the damage has already been done. They already claimed the top inhibitor, and now this breaks open the pressure on the top side. There's no way that Poppy can clear the wave consistently, even with the Sunfire Cape against super minions. It's so early. Their Baron hasn't even spawned yet, and neither has the second dragon, so... it has, but no one has taken it rather.
Yeah, well, that's the 16-minute inhibitor that you're very worried about if you're Homeless Legend at this point. The only thing you can do, I think, is sending your bot lane towards the top side and sending the Poppy to the bottom lane, so that the Sivir can actually wave clear them, and possibly take a low top side tower. Oh,
the Sivir did go for the Essence Reaver, so tell a lie, she will be able to clear the wave out. I thought she was gonna move straight into the Infinity Edge with a crit item, because the early game wasn't doing so hot, so maybe relying on scaling would have been a better option, but in this case, still just wants to match the power spike of the opponents. Meanwhile, Prowling Projectile, we'll see the Kled here on the mountain, excuse me, Cloud Dragon. Ronnie coming in to reinforce Lemon Sugar as well as Company just taking down the objective despite getting spotted out by the Skull Crab Shrine. We'll see 3 members here. But not the Skull Crab, excuse me, the ward next to it.
Well, the Cloud Drake not exactly a very not a dragon that's worth prioritizing, but you got nothing else on the map to take, might as well take it, I guess.
You can see that they're playing this pretty textbook, they're isolating and choking the vision out. There are multiple wards in the bottom half of the jungle and it looks like they are tunneling down on the bot inner structure right now.
And yesterday we did see Opononi pretty good at closing out these games.
Oh man, I don't even need to cast this. Oh okay, still managing to run away, but the charge coming through means that this Rek'Sai is gonna be going down soon. The Void Rush only extending her life for a second longer as the Dredge line is gonna be cast but not connecting either. They're playing bot in inner structure as the Sivir overextending and so is the Yuumi gonna fall, and this is a almost ace coming through as the last member standing is gonna be a Poppy who was in base buying. A solo kill for Nacha Avenger once more onto the Syndra, and this is an RE, like you said, that has to be banned out if you're playing against Opononi.
Pretty sure the timers are still low enough so that they can't take the Nexus, but they are gonna take this inhib at least.
Moving in once more with the Dredge line, but not finding the Poppy. Orb of Deception will be used to clear the wave out. Meanwhile, 5 members still on the Nexus turret. Steadfast presence being used to negate this as the respawns come in, and like you said, not low enough as the Dredge line is being cast once more. They might want to take this fight so quickly. They fall. 2 members of Homeless Legends already dropping like flies. Meanwhile, the Syndra moving forward, trying to use the Scare of the Week to find a single member. She will get the damage down onto the Ahri, but she will not get the kill though, as she finally falls in the end to the Sire. Meanwhile, Sivir with the ricochets will get the kill on the Ahri. But this is game, ladies and gentlemen, make no mistake, even though a couple of counter kills coming across, but the Nexus will fall eventually. WRDZ, super fan at this point, just toying with her food before closing out the game. Opononi, congratulations, making it for it once more in the losers bracket, and the opposition right now, commiserations to them, Homeless Legends will be going home.
Yep, we did see a very fast game yesterday, but I think this actually tops it out by just about half a minute. Very decisive win coming in from Opononi. I think across the board, all their players showed up today.
I think this is completely expected though, because seeing the RE come through, I was a bit question mark on the Kled. But you look at the priority from the draft. They ban out a bunch of top laners and say, okay, we want Kled right here. We know that this is going to do decently well. And true enough, Kled did pop off and so did the RE. And bot lane was benefited because of these solo laners being so far ahead. They spread the advantage over.
Damn, well that's the thing, right? I mean, just ban the Ahri, guys. Come on, I think
ban the Ahri. Yeah, that might be your
there's
best
no
bet.
other way around it.
So right now, I think we're gonna be taking a short break, but we're still going on to, or at least waiting for, an ongoing match to finish. The conclusion of A Yanghua versus Alternative Ladies.
Alternative Lady.
Alternative. Oh
Hey.
man, yeah, that was a problem we had yesterday. Alternative Lady versus A Yanghua. The winner of that will be playing against Opononi in the next upcoming match. But for now, guys, we will be going for a short break. If you want to catch the next game, do tune into the Thai stream as it is currently ongoing. But for now, don't go anywhere. We will be right back.